Now, when you start thinking jobs, you're also thinking finance. You're thinking investment. There are a lot of us who have a few bucks socked away. If we knew we were investing in hemp for the future, industrial hemp, that might kick this initiative over. But I think beyond that, if the initiative passes, then California could become the shining city on the hill again. They'd cover all the buildings with mirrors just to please us. Everything could get cleaned up. All of the infrastructure could get rebuilt. New ways of doing things. A complete new source for the basics. Food to eat, clothing to wear, shelter. There aren't very many real essentials. You got a food source that people are now aware is filled with essential fatty acids and high-level proteins. You know, it's like only 20 some odd amino acids, and it takes 9 of them to make a complete protein, and that's why they mix beans and corn together to be able to borrow from one and reinforce it with the other. Now, here we got a plant that can turn out 20 odd different amino acids. It's an amazing thing. It drinks more sunlight than anything else. There's a lot of growers who have been here tonight who can understand. I mean, many people don't have an imagination. Let's just take fiber. You're going to grow it for fiber. You plant the seeds 2 inches apart. You water them. They grow up. They crowd each other out. They can't get the sunlight. The little tip is the only thing that's growing up. And they're side by side. And as it goes up, that root goes down. And a couple seasons of that, and you can take very marginal lands and turn them into prime gardening soil. All because of the ability of this goddamn plant. Now, we all know its history. Jack has written about all of this. I think if we merely publicized what Jack tells us, if we took it onto the internet, if we tweeted it about, I'll give you a slogan for what I think would be a massive movement. Hemp is more than a drug. Hemp is more than a drug. Sure, it's a drug. Sure, it's a mild euphoric. Sure, it's a mind-expanding substance. Sure, it's holy. But, anyway, I could go on about this.
Go
but
on,
Jack,
go on, you're doing good.
Well, Jack Herr showed me that most people, if they were to make a choice between, I'm afraid my kid is going to smoke it, but I know he already is, and jobs, industry, money crackling back and forth, a lot of investment, a lot of people flooding in from out of the state into this new Renaissance thing that could happen if we can do one thing, which is a massive PR campaign to do and to sell what I've been trying to pitch to you over the networks and every way you can think of, that hemp is more than a drug and that you can build houses out of it. We've got lumber yards in Oregon that already have created massive timbers. They've learned how to center the pot, the herds, down so fine a granulation, and then they have to find a way to explode it into even finer granulation. And then finally super powdered stuff, which they make with heat and other things, becomes a plastic. And you can make massive timbers out of it that support over wide, long spans. It can become stronger than steel. You can take hemp, you can make stone out of it. It can be turned into paving. It is an amazing plant. It's all spelled out in The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Go reacquaint yourself with what Jack told you. try and translate it into something that is PR, because at some point, the couple of $1 million that we're talking about will pop up out of nowhere, and in a couple of weeks, we'll have the signatures, and we won't have to stand in front of supermarkets doing it unless we want to earn an extra buck. So, what I'm really trying to say is, we need a voice. I think that a hemp initiative that is based completely upon Jack's initiative, which is extravagant in some measure, but anything that's taken out of that document, I think, harms it. Jack spent a long time refining that language, and he did many petitions before this one. And so, he knew what he was talking about when he put together that petition, which is basically a call for complete legalization, no more administration, no worrying about wine laws or any other damn thing. Let your problem is whether your kid smokes it or not. But let us warn everybody, when we start to grow this stuff on an industrial level, it'll contaminate with pollen every really high-test plant you have growing in your backyard. It'll be everywhere. You'll have to zip up the spaces where you try to grow some of this medicinal marijuana. So there's upside and there's a downside. But it is a jobs issue. It is a get America rolling again. It is to change the ground rules. And I think that it can be combined with this Occupy idea, because I've been studying up on money, the evolution of it, the uses of it, the Rothschilds, some of the fabulous money in the past. And we know that money calls the shots, because even Bush, a Republican as he was happy to sign on to TARP and bail out the banks, which is not the banks. It's the people that have their deposits in the banks. The money, the big money. We've got to find a way to let the big money know that this is a grand opportunity for them to gobble up space, to invest in hemp futures, to find ways to control us. And I'm sure they will. They're smart as hell. Anyway, that's enough for me for a while.
Thank you.